Hi, I'm Lisa De Simone. I'm an associate professor of accounting at the McCombs School of Business here at the University of Texas at Austin. And I've been asked to talk to you a little bit today about my accounting path, or how I found accounting and where it's taken me. As I thought about what I wanted to say today, it occurred to me that in our top-ranked accounting program here in the curriculum, there are a lot of accounting lessons that you would get. Things like conducting a break-even analysis, appropriately separating duties in order to improve internal controls, reporting asset impairment on your financial statements, and even how to claim the right tax deductions on a tax return. But in the course content that we have, there's going to be fewer life lessons. The lessons I want to share with you today related to accounting. First, it's easier to go from being a specialist to a generalist than vice versa, and specialists are valued. Second, accounting is the language of business. And third, accounting can take you anywhere. In order to tell you these lessons today, I'm not just going to tell you about my own career path, I'm actually going to tell you a tale of three siblings. These three siblings. I'm the little girl in these pictures. In the bottom one, it's about 1981, and a few years later in the top. But I'm going to tell you a bit about my brothers as well, starting with the oldest. So my oldest brother got a bachelor's degree in economics, which I consider to be a generalist degree. He also got an MBA, which also is a generalist degree. He's had a great career. He's worked for over 20 years, mostly doing valuation for big transactions, things like mergers and acquisitions. And we're very proud that he now runs a major metropolitan office of an investment banking firm. But interestingly, given his generalist background in economics and business, he actually goes out of his way, literally, to recruit accounting graduates. And he does that because he values their specialized skills that he had to work hard over the course of his career to learn. And he values that these graduates, that by the way, he has to go outside of his metropolitan area to a university town to recruit, he values that they have those specialized skills that are important for understanding how to value a business or value a transaction. They really know what's behind the numbers, and he values that. He had to learn accounting on the job, and he discovered it was difficult to go from being a generalist to a specialist. Moving on to the middle child, my middle brother. He has a bachelor's in accounting, so he started with that specialized skill set. And interestingly, he's a dental surgeon in the DFW area and has been for a long time. All right, so you might be wondering, how did my brother, the dentist, get to dentistry after having a degree in accounting? And the short answer is that he followed his passion. But he used his accounting knowledge along the way. So he has a very unique surgery practice, because when he was graduating from dental school, he had student loans, so he already had some debt. And in order to start a dental practice, often dentists have to take on an additional amount of debt in order to get a new space, all the equipment that's needed to fill that space, and start their own practice. And he understood the consequences of those high fixed costs and having to service large amounts of debt that would eat into the amount of profit from his labor that he would get to take home and enjoy, especially in the early years of his career. So he was strategic and relied upon his knowledge of accounting to instead offer that he would go into existing dental practices and do their surgeries for them, because he loved specializing in surgery. And many general dentists don't like to do the specific types of things that are required for surgery. So he got to specialize and provide that specialized skill to others, and that helped him avoid all of the high upfront costs of starting a new dental practice. He got there by using his accounting degree, even as a dentist, which should show you that accounting really is the language of business in any industry. All right, finally me. I'm the youngest, as I said. I'm an associate professor here at McCombs. I started as a generalist as well, with a degree in economics. And I started out after graduating college doing economic consulting, ended up moving for personal reasons, and was looking for a job as close to economic consulting as I could find. I ended up with a big accounting firm. And even though I was working with economists and doing economic consulting for tax purposes, something called transfer pricing, I realized that my clients and the partners and managers of the firm, they spoke accounting, and I didn't understand what they were saying. So I decided to go learn that language of accounting at night while still working for this big accounting firm. And I actually completely fell in love with accounting. So much so that I decided to pursue a PhD in accounting, where I learned how to do research and how to teach at the university level. And I love my job. All right, back to these lessons. Lesson number 1, it's easier to go from being a specialist to a generalist than vice versa, and specialists are valued. We've seen that with my path, my road from economics to accounting. Going to school at night to learn accounting while working in accounting was not an easy path to take. Would have been much easier if I had just started in accounting to begin with. My oldest brother recognized this as well in his investment banking experience, going from being an economist to learning the specialized skills of accounting for valuation and other types of work that he was doing. And even my dentist brother, you can see this. He specialized in dental surgeries and was able to offer that specialty to dentists who were practicing family dentistry or general dentistry. And that's valued. He was able to build a career on it. Life lesson number 2, accounting is the language of business. Accounting is what maps economic events into numbers, accounts, and financial statements. And knowing this language allows you to better interface with anybody in any field. We've seen my brother in investment banking use his accounting knowledge. We've seen my brother in dentistry using his accounting knowledge. And me going from economic consulting, loving accounting so much that I decided I want to teach it and spread the love to others. So you can use accounting in any field you desire to go into, and you'll be surprised sometimes what opportunities come along in your career that allow you to leverage this specialized skill. I'm going to leave you on this lesson with a policy relevant example from academic research in my area of tax accounting. Multinational corporations, or businesses that do business in a lot of different jurisdictions around the world, have long been claimed to be avoiding tax by shifting some of their profits into low tax jurisdictions. But we've also long wanted to know how big this type of behavior is. And economists have relied on a particular data set with financial information of these large firms to try to estimate how much of this tax-motivated profit shifting has been going on. But what they didn't realize is that because of the structure of the data and the structure of these large multinational corporations, they were actually double counting some of those profits held by a subsidiary and then the parent and so on and so forth up a complicated structure of the business. And it took 2 accountants to come in and realize that this double counting was occurring, and also to suggest a fix for how we could unwind some of that double counting when we're trying to estimate the magnitude of this multinational profit shifting tax avoidance. And they estimated that it's only about 1/10 the size that economists have previously estimated. So an order of magnitude difference just by fully understanding where the numbers come from, and it took accountants to do that. All right, life lesson number 3, accounting can take you anywhere. It's certainly been true in my case. But we've also surveyed people within our networks here at McCombs to understand those who started with an accounting degree, where did they end up? So we have a list of different types of first jobs, second jobs, third jobs, and so on. And while many of them started with accounting firms, not all, but many, as they progressed through their career, you can see they went into very different types of jobs, some working for the government, some working in finance, other fields. And if you look at the industries for the type of companies that some of these people work for, it spans the gamut of all the industries you can think of. So accounting really can take you anywhere in your career. For me, I've been, as I've told you, a tax advisor. I'm a teacher now. I do research. I host a podcast. I do consulting. I've been an expert witness in court cases. I've written op-eds to try to impact policy, and I've been advisors to startup businesses. For my job, I've literally also gone everywhere around the world. Just in the last year, I went to the Netherlands and Germany I went to the UK. I've got an upcoming trip to Singapore. I've literally been everywhere because of accounting. So those are the 3 lessons I have for you. It's easier to go from being a specialist to a generalist than vice versa. And importantly, specialists are valued. Accounting is the language of business, and accounting can take you anywhere. If you want to learn more about our top-ranked accounting program here at McCombs, scan the QR code and attend one of our events. Thanks so much for listening.